All right, here we go. So this is the last part of Unit 3, linear regression. And linear regression is another way that we try to predict one score from another score. So in this case, we have X and we want to know what Y is going to be. So basically, let's say we know your high school GPA, right? And so we want to know how that relates to your SAT scores. Let's say that. And so when we have this and we do all the other things that we've manipulated, right, to get the strength of the relationship, blah 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 blah, we're gonna use X then to predict your GPA, high school GPA, to predict what your SAT scores would be. Let's say that, right? So as usual, I got a little PowerPoint to go along with this. Hopefully it works. And again, I'm going to back out of the picture so you can see this better. So, like I said, linear regression is how we make predictions based on the variable we know. We don't know your SAT score, but we do know your high school GPA. So Y would be the score to be predicted, or your SAT. Right? A is the intercept point where the straight line meets the y-axis. I'm going to show you that in a second. B is the slope that determines the angle of the line. X is your score, or in this case, your GPA. So y equals A plus BX, and A equals Y. A equals the mean of Y minus B times the mean of X. And B is this, okay? So we're going to get into that. But I want to look at the picture first. So remember I talked about this A is the intercept point. So at this point in this picture, in this graph, this is a picture of a line, right? The intercept point is 0, right? Because it's down here. It could be anywhere along this line, but in this representation, it's 0, okay? And B is the slope. So what is the angle? In this one, it's basically a 45-degree angle, which is not always true, right? So, but this was the simplest picture. I just want to get it, right? So this would be your x-axis, and this would be your y-axis. And so I want to know what 0.5 is going to be, and I need to be able to tell you this, right? By coming to here, I know this line is going to tell me what's here, right? So I figure out this line using all this. I figure out how to draw the line, and then I know anywhere along here where X is, I can go straight up and predict what Y is. I hope that makes sense. So here we go. So B is the hard part, obviously. Um, Here is your scores. Mm. And obviously, right, you got Y, X, and Y scores here, but what we're going to be predicting is a score of X that is not in our table, right? So, and these obviously are not GPA scores, but they're just scores to make it as easy as possible to do the things. All right, so here's the formula for B. Here's the mean of X and the mean of Y. Okay, same thing, the sum of X, Y, right? 243 minus the sum of X times the sum of Y divided by N. And in this case, N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. Okay? All of that is over the sum of X squared, 297, minus the sum of X squared over 6 over N. Okay? So you do these little computations. I'm not going to walk you through that. And you come up with 0.39, right? So now we know B. So now we have to go back and do A, right? We want to find A. So A is equal to the mean of Y, right? Minus B times the mean of X, right? So here we go. So it's 5.83 minus 0.39 times 6.17. Which is equal to 5.83 minus 2.41, or 3.42. So now, if X equals 7 and Y, we want to know what the Y score is, right? And Y equals A plus BX. right? So we have A, 3.42 plus B times X. In this case, we picked 7, which unfortunately was already there, which is equal to 3.42 minus 3.2, so it's 0.69, right? So in this case, 7, this table doesn't, this picture is not going to work for this thing, right? But that's it. So if you have a score of 7 for X, your Y is only going to be 0.69. So I wish I had a better just way to show you this in the linear regression, but I didn't. I just brought that one example. So maybe I will add a piece to this. I'll do my best. But again, as always, right, this is the formulas. Just do the math, okay? Do the math. And as always, if you have any questions, I'm going to be here. In the notes, there's an example that shows you this. It's a bad drawing because I drew it by hand, but there's a better example. There's a different problem and a picture to go along with that problem. So uh, take a look, read the notes, review this, practice, and like I said, as always, if you have any questions, get back to me. So you made it through. You made it to Unit 3. It is really challenging. Please reach out for help. I tell you all the time. Please reach out for help. Um, and I'm available. Tutors are available. So just like I said, if you got questions, reach out for help. This is a make or break point. Or it will be for a lot of you. So hang in there. You can do this. All right.